Welcome back, guys. Today's video is 12 tips to pass like a pro. I have a bonus tip at the end of the video that you don't want to miss. Tip number 1. Your formation matters. You must select a formation that consists at least 3 midfielders. You also need to get the right players in proper formation to have space to supply crosses and long passes. Tip number 2. All of your midfielders should have good passing and at least 4-star wrong foot. Despite him being short, I suggest you this Modric card for your team as he's got amazing traits to become playmaker of your team. This card is also one of the best midfielder cards in the game because of the versatility of his stats. If you upgrade and train him, it will outclass most of the highest-rated midfielders in the game. Lastly, I suggest any of these Rude Gullet cards. If you have budget, get a higher-rated one, otherwise the lower-rated will do the job efficiently as he's one of the best player in the game. Tip number 3. If you go to Settings and Gameplay and scroll a bit down, you'll find this setting called Fast Power Rate Up Rate. Turning this on makes the power-up bar fill faster, and turning it off makes the bar fill slower. This setting extremely helps you to speed your passing rate as you don't have to hold pass button for a long time. Tip number 4. If you scroll a bit further down, there's another setting that you want to turn on. Crossing assistance helps you when making crosses near the goal post. It uses AI to automatically choose the right power for the cross. If you turn it off, you have to control the power yourself, which can be difficult and time-consuming, so it's better to keep it on. Tip number 5, it's interesting, but you need practice with it. To make passes like in the video, you need to turn on 2 settings, the crossing assistance we talked about before, and another one called double tap gesture pass. If you keep this setting off, the AI will decide whether to make a ground pass or a flying pass, which can sometimes cause problems due to mistakes in AI decision. But if you turn it on, you can choose the type of pass yourself. I suggest you to turn the setting on at practice a few days. Tip number 6. Now we come to the gameplay tricks. If you are a long passer or need to long pass in certain situations, your view or teammates might be blocked by the camera angle. To fix this, try using Camera Angle 4. It gives you a full side-to-side view of the stadium, making it easier to spot teammates for passes and see better crossing angles. In my opinion, it's the best camera angle to use. Tip number 7. Crossing. It is a pass sent from the sides of the field towards the center, usually near the goal. Sometimes, your player might misplace a cross due to using the wrong foot. Here's the tip. For good crosses or long passes, players in right side positions, right back, right mid, right side center midfielder should be right-footed. When picking players for these spots, make sure they have a strong right foot because the players on the right side tend to use the right foot for cross or long passing. For left side players, the opposite applies, they should be left-footed. In case you're crossing using your wingers, you may notice that many left wingers are right-footed and right wingers are left-footed. In these cases, make sure they have at least 4-star weak foot ability. If it's 3 stars or lower, avoid crossing with them as it usually won't work well. Tip number 8. This tip is so effective, yet I use it every time. So, when your opponent takes a corner kick, there's always one of your players standing next to an opponent. You can tap on that player to control them, move them to the position shown in the video. You can slide pass button to right and aim it with the joystick in the direction of the player you moved. This lets you make a long header pass, giving you a chance to outpace and score easily. Tip number 9. At the start of the match or during kickoff, you can pass the ball back to your goalkeeper. This will make opponents' players move to forward. You'll notice on the minimap that this opens up space for you to pass or your attack, making it easier to start an offensive play. Tip number 10. For making crosses or long passes, try using your right back or left back for the most of the times. The reason is that they typically have the highest crossing stats on your team, making them the most reliable players for these moves. You can check their crossing stats easily by heading to this page in FC Mobile. Tip number 11. Providing a good pass during a corner kick can be tricky for many players. Here's a tip to make it easier. Instead of tapping on your tall players to go for a header, which often fails, try this method. Look for an empty space in the box and tap there. Your players will automatically move toward the incoming ball. Then, just press shoot to score with a header. This approach is much more effective than directly tapping on players to make a pass. Give it a try and you'll see better results. Tip number 12. Who should be your corner taker? Well, the player you choose as your corner taker by default might not be an appropriate corner taker. Then, who should it be? When choosing a corner taker, make sure they have a high LPA, which stands for long passing ability. Also, their passing skill should be maxed out and they should have the long passing trait. These qualities are essential for making accurate and effective corner kicks, ensuring you've picked the right player for the job. Finally, bonus tip. First of all, let me tell you that I'm not promoting anything here. I'm just sharing this useful app called Renders. It's just a great tool to enhance your game. With Renders, you can check the upgraded stats of players you're interested in adding to your team without actually buying them first. It helps you make smarter decisions by letting you see how a player would perform at a higher level so you can plan your squad better and avoid any guesswork. It's a game changer for team building. That's it for today. Like and subscribe if you learned something.